Hello everybody and welcome back to the Toko Board Game Club. Today we're shooting a very special video for the Esper Game Studio. We're shooting the unboxing of the mass production copy of our two biggest releases of the year, Eldertide 1000 Lights and JISOGI Anime Studio Tycoon Edition 1.5. These were crowdfunded a few months ago and now they are on the way to our backers. But before it arrives to you, let's have a look at what's inside each of these boxes. Shall we? Let's then start with JISOGI Anime Studio Tycoon. Here on the front cover, you're gonna have the same treatment as the previous edition with the UV print on highlighting the logo and some of the characters in the box. One difference is that we also now have the logo of the Good Games Publishing, a partner that is helping us push this game to new audiences and retail chains. So thank you very much, Good Games Publishing, for your support so far. Okay, once we open it, you're gonna see inside the box this line art version of the box art done by Senkalatengin. A very important thing about this, it was already punched. We wanted to show how the game is closed and how it shows up after you open the box again to play it. So let's get into it. Here, the rulebook. You have the updated version of the rulebook, but also you have the extra game mode, Pitch Room. It's a narrative game mode that we included last year as a DLC. So all of this included in this new revised rulebook. Then we have the new action board, which is very similar to what we had before, except that this one has the updated iconography. Also, this action here changed, but everything else is the same as it was before. The new player boards, very similar to the original ones. However, these new player boards have a small icon in here, and there's a spot in this area here for the level 0 token, because in this version of the game, you're going to be moving this one single token toward this track to show the level of your animation. Whoever is upgrading from the previous version, do not need to worry about this, because you're going to be filling this with tokens as it was before. So yeah, very happy with this one. All the three different studios are back again. This is our biggest new addition to the game, which is the trend board. This board houses the opportunity cards that are going to go in this bottom part and has a new placement here for the trend cards. The trend card has now a different set of bonus depending on which of the trend cards you're releasing with. And the opportunity cards have a revised set of rules as well. The three of them are going to be placed face down, face up, and three of them are going to be placed face down, revealing them towards the game. A much cleaner board that I think it's going to please a lot our supporters. Here in the bottom, you have a compartment for the cards. You have opportunity cards here, networking cards, and debit cards on the mini euro size. This divider here in the middle, this will come in your box like this, flat in the bottom. Then you're gonna close it and then you're gonna lock it down in this area here like this, creating this separation between the cards and the plastic bags that you're gonna have in your game. All of these plastic bags are included in the box so that you'll have a house for everything. Here you can see the staff cards that we're gonna be using in the game. As an upgrade from the previous version is that these cards now have a higher font size and a little bit better UI for identification, but they are the same characters, 52 characters, every single one of them with a different art. We also have upgraded solo challenge cards. These were, we collected feedback from our audience and then they gave us very, very nice ideas that we implemented on these solo challenge cards. Player aid cards were also updated to reflect new set of rules. And our very special trend cards that made this game so famous and so popular worldwide, they are completely unaltered from our previous version. They still have the localized foil, they still have the reverse foil texture on them. It's a really premium finish that we're really proud of these cards and the art on it. In these plastic bags, you'll have the 3 script parts that we're going to be using in the game. Setting, plot, and twist. Those 3 parts are going to be used to create your stories. We recommend putting each one of them in a bag, so it makes the assembly of the game very easy and shuffling them also very easy. You have another bag here for your coins that you're going to be using in the game. You have another bag here where you're going to put your hype tokens, your lock tokens, your 4 popularity bonuses, and your first player token. Another token here for the wood tokens that you're going to be using in the game. Same quality as before. We tried to make sure that they were as beautiful as it was before. And then here, your wood tokens for your action, studio action tokens. Same ones as before as well. Very good quality. We're very proud of these components. The way that you're gonna be putting this together in the box, you're gonna put all of the bags and this slotting here. You're gonna be placing tarot cards here in the bottom. You place your mini Euro cards in this corner, and then you finally place the standard size cards in this corner. As you can see, there's plenty of space here for sleeved cards, and you can keep them very stable. At the end, you're gonna place this board here, which locks down the cards in this slot, and you're gonna use the rest of the boards to cover the rest of the space, like this, so that you now have a very compact box. And that's about it. This is JISOGI Anime Studio Tycoon Edition 1.5. If you have the older version of this game, the Founders Edition of the game, then you could have acquired, not sure if you did, the Upgrade Pack. This is a special box that we are offering to our backers that shows that has all of the components needed for you to upgrade the Founders Edition of the game to the 1.5 edition. At the back of this box, you see a set of instructions that's going to explain exactly how to upgrade your Founders Edition. And I'm going to go navigating to this very quickly right now. First one, you're going to find the 31 Jink Staffy cards that comes inside the box. These are all the cards that have text on them, that were updated with the new rules. You're gonna replace all these 31 cards with the new cards that are inside this box. So just put the old cards below the insert of the old box and just keep it there as a collection, as a token of the old game. Then you're gonna have the 2 small boards from the old version that you're gonna be replacing with this new one. Again, place them in the bottom, and then you start using this new board. You're gonna replace the action board with this new board as well. The very small difference, we wanted to put the stickers to replace it, but then after we tested a little bit, we saw that the sticker could not fit in very nicely on the board. You could definitely see that there was a sticker in there. So we decided to, you know what, let's put the whole board in the box so that people can replace it. You're gonna remove a few opportunity cards, the red cards from the game. So that's part of the new rule. So you just have to remove those cards. All of them are listed here. You're gonna remove 2 cards from the game, 2 networking cards from the original game, and then replace with 2 new ones. They are a little bit more streamlined. And sorry, these are the Japanese cards. Then you're gonna replace player aid cards and a solo challenge cards. And that's about it. Very easy upgrade. This is a box full of stuff. You have the new rule book here as well that has all of the updated rules for you to check. And we are selling it for as low as we can, so that everyone, as many people we can get this upgrade pack and start playing with the new updated rules. This will be available in Japanese and in English. As you can see here, his version of the Japanese is exactly the same components that we just showed, but everything is going to be in Japanese. Some of our partners who released the game in different languages are to release their own versions of the upgrade pack in the near future, so keep an eye out for that. But okay, enough about JISOGI. Let's look at Eldertide now. First thing you're gonna notice that this box is quite heavy. We wanted to keep it below 2 kilos. We failed at that. We kept adding stuff to the box, and now it's way past 2 kilos. Anyway, we are very happy with the finish on it. It's difficult to see in this camera, but there is a very nice UV, a localized UV on the thunders here and on the logo. We're very proud of how beautiful this box looks in person. But the important part is what's inside. First of all, we have the cover art, which is this beautiful art piece by Tomorrow Man. This piece specifically, all of the artists that worked in the project worked on it. Virginia, Remy, Go, everyone touched a little bit on this specific art. So we're really happy to have used this in the lead of the game. Just as we did with JISOGI, this game has already been, the punch boards have already been punched because we wanted to show you how it's gonna look like when you actually play the game, how it's gonna store everything that comes inside the box. This version specifically that we're looking at is the Japanese edition. The Japanese edition of the game is gonna have both rule books in Japanese and English. The international version that we're gonna be shipping worldwide will only have the English version. You're gonna be able to differentiate them by a sticker in the front of the box. We're using A4 size rulebook. I think we're very happy with the way that this rulebook turned out. A lot of very experienced graphic designers and game designers working on this project. So I think this is our best work so far in terms of like organization of information, a lot of examples, how we were able to convey a lot of the complicated rules of this game in a very streamlined format. So we're very happy with how this rulebook turned out to be. We have iconography here on the back of the rule book that we can use as a reference guide as we play the game. Here, right in the front, you have all the player boards, the player dashboards. We're like one of our most iconic pieces for this game. You're gonna put your finger here on this edge and then you're gonna pull them up. Let's look at this before we dive into what's inside the box. Every faction has a different board. We're really happy with the way that this board turned out. The double layer worked really well. The illustration was not in any way like damaged by the fact that they are printed in 2 different layers. We really feel that the factory was really able to follow our instructions in this and create a really beautiful piece here. All of these boards have different illustrations on them that showcase their core island, their ship, and the characters, like a character reference for you to understand what's the vibe of that faction. And the back of the board, you can see the key art that's gonna give you like an overview of this island and the overall tone of that faction, that house. And as you can see, there's quite a chunk of space here in the bottom and the top. This was how much this board changed in proportions as the game developed. We start adding more and more stuff to it, but we decided not to stretch this art and keep it like fully displaying here because we really think that Tomorrow Man, the artist that working on this, did an incredible job with these pieces. But also, every faction has a different color and a different pattern that is gonna be used on this illustration. So we believe that the back of the board is as important for you to understand a little bit of their vibe and their culture than the front is. Okay. Here are the 3 other factions. You have the Enclave, the Red faction. You have the Horath faction, the Horath faction house. And then you have the Royal Company. They're very nice. The first thing that I want to showcase are the islands. These are very nice art pieces done by Goeski and Tomorrow Man. All of these are the action places that you're gonna visit in the game. And as you can see, they all have very beautiful illustrations on them, besides the amazing graphic designer by the team who worked on this project. They are all double-sided. In one side, you have the full illustration in color, which has the island fully functional. And then on the back side, you have the island destroyed, which turns the illustration into a black and white color, and all the action here are unavailable anymore. All of them have this double-sided, and they're all really, really beautiful. These are the tiles that you're going to be placing across the board to create the map. Here in the bottom part, you're going to have these different bags. And the way that we would like you to organize the game is to put all of the components that each faction is going to start with inside a different bag. This way, whenever you choose one of these factions, you just have to take one of these bags, and then you're ready to start playing with everything that's inside here. Makes the setup much easier. We put a lot of different bags inside here, so you just have to reorganize them. Inside each of these bags, you will have an acrylic standee. These are the ships that you're going to be using to play the game with. We're very, very, very excited and very proud of these standees. You're going to have a dial that you assemble in the punch board. This dial is how you're going to be playing the game. It shows the energy that you're going to be spending every round. Very, very important asset. They are very beautiful as well. We're very proud of this asset. Then you have the base for the acrylics. You have all of the different tokens that the faction is going to be using. These tokens in here, the asymmetric powers that you're going to be using for the faction, that goes in this slot in here. Once this objective on the board is finished, you're going to flip it and activate a power. These are your score. So here in the bottom, you have 2 trackers. Then you're going to be moving, as you score points, you're going to be moving these tokens in this track. And whenever you complete 10 points, you go back to the start, and then you move this to the... As you can see, they stay in place, even if you move the board. So we're very, very happy with how this tracker turned out to be. Every faction is going to have a cube that goes in here that shows you how much energy you start with. And then you have this, which works as a cap to how much energy you can recover to. Every faction will start with 4 different specialization track tokens in here. There's gonna be showing your level of development in that specific knowledge field. And for this faction, they have a special power that whenever at the start of the game, their specialization on the yellow, which is the engines, is gonna be at maximum, meaning that they will have a strategy that is gonna turn around using these facilities to power up their board in here. These are gonna be 2 lock tokens that you're gonna see here, put it in your storage, and that's all you need to start to play with this faction. Then you have 100 different of these tokens. As you can see, we did not save money into making this project. We're gonna have all of these different resource tokens that you're gonna be collecting throughout the game, and you're gonna be placing them on this storage here in the top of your boat. And once you construct these facilities, you're gonna be moving these tokens from the top there to the bottom here. So they have very, very precise location that they can be fitting. One of the additions that we added to the game very close to the end of our development is the storm. The storm now has its own acrylic standee. So you're gonna be able to see the storm much better now. It will have a much stronger presence, and the die that you use for it as well. It's very, very, very nice. One important, very, very important thing that we cannot forget about this acrylic standees, they all have a protective film on them. Like for example, this one, I haven't removed it from any of these yet. So when you receive the game, please remove the protective film on all these acrylics. They look so much better after you remove the protective film. do not forget to remove these acrylics. I have played games before where I forgot about this, and then I always look at those acrylics and I'm like, they look so kind of dim and not so charming as I was expecting. That's because I was stupid. Anyway, this is the Storm acrylic. Very, very excited about this component. Beside that, we'll have more tokens. I think once we start putting that on the table, will never end. These are the toolkits that you're going to be using to fix the ship, fix the lens, and also to build these beacons that we were referring to earlier. These are the damage tokens. If you are hit by the storm while you're navigating the ocean, these are going to go in this location here, and then they're going to reduce the amount of energy that you can keep in your energy tank, which means that now you have a limit your limit is reduced by 3. You can even have more of this in here. Very dangerous stuff if you get hit by the storm multiple times without fixing yourself. We'll have cards. We have 2 types of cards in the game. We have the this again, double language for Japanese and English. You have the solo mission cards that you're going to be using to play the solo game. And then you have the export cards that are going to be setting the requirements from the kingdom for you to export, like pick up and delivery part of the game. Then you have player aid cards that are going to be double-sided, showcasing easy to follow step-by-step round steps. So very useful. Then you have all the other factions in here that I put it before. And you have these 2 player boards. This one is the supply board that you're gonna be using to display all the export cards, the flexible market that's gonna be changing across the game, round tracker, and this is the beacon market where you're gonna be picking up beacons here for your endgame scoring. This is the new board that we added later in the production, which is the beacon board, referring to this beacon mechanic, where if you build this in the kingdom, you can get some rewards from this track. As you can see, the game has a lot of stuff. You have all of these beacon reward tokens that goes in here. These are some of the beacons that goes in here for your endgame scoring. It's a very dense populated game, and we could not be prouder of what we have in here. Like even the box that we did here in the end, this is a space for us to put the wood tokens. Here is gonna keep all your boards and all your faction displays. So it's very easy to put everything back together. You find a space in here for your island. You put all your tokens in here, and then the player boards lock is very nicely in here, so that is very sturdy and easy to put everything together. And then you just keep the rest of the tokens in this zone in here. Yeah, I'm not gonna finish organizing this mess in here because I think this video has been going on for long enough. But yeah, I don't know, like this is massive achievement for our team. We look at this project, and from the start when Yofi and Wida game designers pitched it to us, and how much the long journey that it took for us developing as well, making this game, improving, building the world of Eldertide, and seeing it all come together now in this beautiful, beautiful box is a massive joy that we hope we'll be able to share with you very, very soon. So that's about it. Thank you very much for your support. Sorry for the small delays that we have been going through with this project, but we really believe it was all worth the time it took for us to develop it. Anyway, thank you. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Hope you get your game soon. See you very soon in our next Tokyo Board Game Club videos. Bye-bye.